Hey y'all. Hello. Let me know when you get here. Y'all, I'm excited. We are doing our first members choice live. What do I mean? We are celebrating Tamara. She is our first members only drawing, and she chose to do the Firework Bloom, which you'll be able to see. And if you saw it in the what do you call it, thumbnail, it's a bloom. We're going to do the bloom just like we do our others, but instead of doing the swirl for the bloom, we're going to do drops, which create that firework effect. So congratulations to Tamara. I can't wait for her to see this. And I'm going to walk you guys step by step through how to do it. We're going to talk about the do's and don'ts and the pro tips and all the little tricks that we have up our sleeve for this. And if y'all remember, I taught you the difference between a bloom and a Petrie effect. Do y'all remember that? Do you remember me talking about it? I have her first color choices out. She wanted purple, teal, and blue, which is like a mermaid color. Cute, adorable. And she also wanted to do a Halloween one. Well, actually, she chose between those, and I said, well, we'll just do both of them. That was a great idea. We have Halloween coming up. So she wanted orange, and let me find. Nope. Black. And I'm looking through my 48 count alcohol ink set from Let's Resin. I always recommend using their inks because they stay vibrant. They don't fade like a lot of others do. So we have, all right, so we have black, purple. There's our purple. We're going to use on both of them. And our orange. So I can put this to the side. Done picking out my colors. I have my handy dandy baby wipes ready. And I mixed up my resin ahead of time. And you see I separated out about 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces. That's what I'm going to add my white sinker to. And you see how this is all collected at the bottom here? Well, I'm going to shake it really good. And most of these have a BB in them. I don't think there's one in this one. But the sinker white comes in your alcohol ink sets. So you don't have to buy this separate, which I have refills for that. Y'all saw me use that last time. But I'm going to use the sinker white that comes in the alcohol ink set. Hey doll, glad you're here. Happy to have you. And before I do all this, is there a little thing that you guys can click that says hype or something like that? Jules or something? YouTube's doing a lot of new stuff. And I can't tell since I'm a creator. But if y'all see the word hype or any of that, and look, I'm adding my drops. I've added 6 to this 2 ounces. Let's see what that gets us. Because I want to let this sit. And I want my white to be the consistency of 2% milk, maybe a little darker. That's too light. So we're going to add more. So I added 6 to begin with. Let me scrape down my sides because y'all know that loves to grab the sides. All right. No, I want more. All right, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Added 6 more drops. Let's see what we get with that. I can tell that looks a little better already. And this is heating up, and that's what I want. Y'all, blooms, the trick to a good bloom is really your temperature. And you want to let your resin sit and heat up. Okay? So, see that? Looks like 2% milk. That's what I want. All right, I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to move these inks out of the way. And I'm going to pour our base into our mold. And I'm using this deep coaster mold. And I'll tell you why. Because the deeper your mold, the more your firework effect is going to drop and give you that effect. If you use a really thin mold, well, let's use this as an example. See how this is thin and not from the top very much? If you use a thin coaster mold, it doesn't give a lot of room for that white to drop down. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to pour my resin. And she wanted 2 different colors. So I'm going to do that. Actually, I have enough that I can do more. Let's just do all of these. We're just going to do 4. So I'll do 2 of each. And that's our base resin. I'm going to set this out of the way. I'm going to wipe down my stick so it's ready for my next use. There, all clean. So that's another trick. If you use baby wipes, wipe your stick down right away. And you don't have to peel anything off or any of that. So let's do the mermaid one first. So that's the blue, the teal, and the purple. We're going to put our drops in. And we're going to let them spread. So I'll do blue around the outside. Then we'll do our teal and our purple in the middle. Gonna do our purple. How are you guys doing? Good? All right, there we go. We have blue, teal, and purple for that. And then we're going to do black and orange for this other one. Let's do black on the outside. And remember these blooms, y'all, in alcohol ink floats to the top. Remember that graph that I made you that shows you how alcohol inks are like helium balloons. They rise to the top. Let's do our orange. Ta-da! Well, that didn't really want to come out very well, did it? And then we're going to do our purple in the middle. There we go. Well, we'll do one more to give it that Halloween look. Hey, Melinda. Happy you're here. Tamara, this is for you. Y'all didn't miss much. All I talked about was I mixed up my resin. I poured my base coat in my coaster. And I mixed up my sinker white. Because remember, in a bloom, you blend your sinker white into your resin. Okay? So that's one trick. And I told y'all if you're doing the Petri effect, it gives you that spore-like effect. Then you put your resin directly over your alcohol ink, not mixing it. I mean, you put your ink over your alcohol colors you have in here, You don't mix it in your resin for the Petri effect. So there you go. There's that. This is heating up, and this is what I want. And my thermometer grew legs and walked away. But ideally, you want to be between 93 to 97 degrees for your when you drop your inks. So let's get these other sets done. Let's do teal on the outside this time, purple and blue in the middle. And then this other one, we're going to do Halloween colors. And we'll do it in a different. And I'm just letting resin do its thing, right? I like let resin do its thing and marry and dance together and do all that before we add our white drops in there. Because when I add my drops, I don't want this resin moving, okay? Because it's going to make the drops move instead of stay where you put them. Yes, ma'am. I'm excited for this. That was a great color choice. So there we go. There's the teal, purple, and blue in different order. And let's do purple on the outside, orange, then we'll do black in the middle for this other one. Come on. There you go. All right. We have our orange. And y'all see, I like working from the outside in toward the center. All right, we're going to let that. And then we're going to add. There we go. So this is going to pull away from the sides. And you know what? That's okay. I like it when that happens because it leaves clear. So if I want to come back and put a background color on this, that clear is really going to let my background shine through. So for this dark color, for it to really pop, I would use a white background on this. So it really pops off and you see the colors and the creation that the resin has created. Same thing with this. I would use white on this too because I really want it to pop off there and highlight the effects. And I see a husky here trying to hang out. We're not having that. Now, the other thing that I want to tell you guys is don't worry about your bubbles. If you spray alcohol on these, it's going to change the design. Hey, Linda. So look, I'm going to do it on one just to show you what I mean. Let's do this one right here. See, I sprayed a little bit of alcohol. Look what it does to the design. You see the cells popping in it? We really don't want that. It's going to mess up your bloom. Or if you want that creation and reaction, add some alcohol to it. It'll take care of your bubbles and give you that cell creation. That's not what we're going after. So my white is getting warm. And if you don't have a thermometer, you can touch and hold your cup. And when you feel it warm here, you know it's ready. Okay, so it's starting to heat up. And I have a piping bag, just a regular baking piping bag that you would use to decorate cakes or cupcakes. This is what I'm using. I'm just going to pour this white in here and then use this to create those firework effects. It's the same way that we do this when we're creating a bloom, right? We use this stuff, we just swirl the white in a regular bloom. We swirl the white and then we draw the petals in. So again, I have my handy dandy white. I'm not going to need it. And my stick is ready to go again. So I just put it over here with my other tools. And you see my white is in this piping bag. I'm going to pull this out. Oh, like so. Whoop. All right, let's set this cup aside. And you see we have this in here. Now, you can do one of two things. You can tie this top off or just hold it like so. I twisted it and I can wrap my finger and hold it. So look at that bubble going to the top. And then I'm just going to snip the end of this off. And I don't want to snip too much of this off. All right. I don't want to do this right over. But I'm just going to snip the very tip off. And I'm going to do it away from my resin because I don't want it falling in there. Well, y'all, I'm right-handed and I'm trying to cut. It's not working. All right, let's cut. There we go. And I have a very tiny opening. And I'm going to test it on, now I have it wrapped back up. I'm going to test it and squeeze it so it's all the way. Well, maybe I didn't snip it enough. Let's try that again. Yeah. Technical difficulties, I tell you. All right, so make a Sensa's deeper mold. No, we don't need deep pour resin. Do not use deep pour resin for any kind of bloom or Petri effect. You actually want thicker resin, and that's one reason that we let this resin sit until it heats up, because you want your resin to thicken. So if you have a tabletop resin or a thicker, higher viscosity resin, that's what you want for this effect. Y'all heard me talk about that with the, not just the blooms, but the dragon scale, the puddle pours, things like that. So now I cut more off. So there we go. You can see that it's not very wide. Okay. Or I'll just put some on my finger so you can see better. It's not very wide at all. So I'm going to wipe my glove off. Now, the trick to the fireworks is usually, like I said, when we do this bloom, we're piping in a circle and a spiral, right? And then we come back with a toothpick and draw our leaves in to get that bloom effect. For fireworks, we don't do that. We're just going to put dots around. The dots are what is going to create that firework bloom. Okay? So the more you put in here, the more firework effect you're going to have on your piece. And I'm starting in the colors because I want you to see this. And then I just come back and go between those two, y'all. And I'm just gently squeezing my piping bag. And I'm going between the two colors for the next row. And this is all that you do. You're just putting little dots in. And you go to your next row. You're doing the same thing. And you don't want them too close together or they're going to meld and not give you those individual little firework lines that you want. And you want to make sure that this white resin is heated up too, because that means your resin is thicker. So I'm putting these around the outside too. So when I put my background color on, you're going to be able to see them too. And I'm just doing it along the edge of the color. All right, so now we go to, and let's start in the middle here and work our way out. And I'm just letting this drop. You see that? I'm not letting a line run together. It's just single drops. And I try to go between the other two that I've already put down. And we're just going to continue doing this around the whole thing. There we go. Almost done with this one. All right, now let's move to the one we sprayed the alcohol in. I'll get your questions in a minute because I really have to concentrate so I don't put them too close together or create that little link between them so they connect. I don't want that. I want them to be their own little person standing alone to create this beautiful effect. Is this easier than y'all thought it would be? Is it less intimidating? I hope so. I hope this gives y'all the confidence to try this. All right, now we go to our last one. We'll start on the outside this time and work our way in. Are y'all working on any projects right now? And I can tell you, I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm doing another drawing this weekend. So if you want to get your name in for a drawing where you can choose the next technique we do and the color palette and all of that, you just simply click the join button. And I think it's like $3.99, I think, a month, $4 a month. And those memberships really help me because y'all know this is not sponsored at all. I pay for all of this out of my own pocket. So all the supplies you see, everything that I use, is stuff that I bought myself. And these little memberships really help me be able to bring these to you guys every Friday and in between on the shorts and my other live videos, which I'm going to get back into now that we're moving back into the winter months and it's much cooler. All right, there we go. So that's it. And I have quite a bit of white left over. I might throw in this little jewelry thing that we have. And remember what I said about spraying the alcohol for bubbles. I'm not putting anything on here. No fire. Y'all know that. No alcohol, ink, and fire. None of that at all. Oh, that's so cute. That's fun. I like letting my granddaughter pick out color palettes and all that. She loves doing that. Fun time. So I'm just going to fill these little back. Let's really get, it's not getting hot, but it's heating up. And I want this a bigger hole so it comes out better. But I'm going to fill up this little mold. It can be little highlights, and I can go back with some acrylic paint pens and paint on them or use them as a jewelry accent to go in my jewelry pieces. Those are fun. So cute. So what else are you guys working on this weekend? Anything? Do you have any questions about anything? Yeah, fire is fun, but not in the silicone mold. That's for sure. You're going to meld your piece and not be able to get it out without ripping it. Trust me. Ask me how I learned that one. I have wasted a lot of molds because of that happening. So please, no fire at all with that. Girl, you and me both. I just got a new storage unit for my resin stuff because I've got boxes of stuff everywhere. Maybe I'll do a members only and show y'all, show the members how unorganized my area is right now. I am going through stuff, throwing old stuff out. Goodness gracious, I had more white in here than I thought I did. Wow. I have a lot of these little, y'all, and I keep these little molds like this around for this very reason. We know resin is expensive, right? So make sure you have a little mold around so you can use every little last bit and we're not wasting it. I just filled up this whole mold. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. And they're all full. So I'm going to put the rest of that bag in there. I'm going to throw my trash away. Oh, and that's it. Now, this little mold I can spray. I'm just going to shield my alcohol. There we go. So there we go. I have a full tray of earring accessories. Have my blooms cooking and see how it's shrinking down? That's fine with me because I'm going to have that great firework burst in the middle of my background color, which maybe I'll do orange for a background on these Halloween ones. That would be kind of cool. Maybe an orange mica that's got that little shimmer to it. But y'all, that's how simple it is. Super easy. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. How fun. I know that's going to be a hit. Oh, all right. I hope you guys learned everything from this. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. Give this a thumbs up so other people can find us and find answers and be able to learn these easy little ways when we break them down so they too can do this. I really hope this gave you confidence. Tamara, congratulations for being the first members only winner. This was a great choice and great colors. I can't wait to see the final product. In fact, Tamara, you messaged me what background color should we put on these. So you can tell me for the Halloween ones what background color, and for the mermaid-like ones what background we should put on them. So send me that message. That's the background we'll use. I will do a short for you guys tomorrow showing you the results of this beautiful firework bloom. I hope this helped you. You're very welcome, Tamara. Thank you for your support. Thank you to all my members, because without y'all, I would not be able to do this every week. But y'all, that's all I have for this one. Until next time, happy yarding. Ta-ta for now.